big data and localization, crafting hyper-relevant experiences.
Come on, let's go. Get over here. It's the penultimate Sigma stage presentation thing. And it'll be the funniest one you've ever seen. Well, short of the quiz where the affiliate guys can get the answers right. Anyways, the ketamine is cracking in. I'd like to introduce my panel. Well, they're going to introduce themselves, actually. We'll start ladies first. And that's Julia down at the end.
Hi, everybody. So glad to see you again today. I'm from the RiverTraffic company, and we're doing nothing, just selling our own traffic from our own sites, adult sites and mainstream sites. Frankly speaking, we don't touch the sphere of localization very much indeed. Yeah. But nevertheless, of course, just we can share some information, for example, about our strong geos, maybe, non-strong geos, and how usually our websites work in their gambling and betting industry, as just it's our top of the top, So is it a preface, or I can go on maybe? Speaking, yeah?
I know you could go on forever, just like a river.
I'm ready to do eternal, unfortunately, so because of it I'm asking. Maybe anybody wants to add something. Okay, no problem. First of all, of course, it's necessary to say some words about geographical market, because it's very important for our potential partners, and always we ask them when just they want to start and launch any campaigns, have you decided correctly your geographical market, because it's very important, And it's a very crucial choice, it's a very crucial decision just to find out the best of the best, and concerning, of course, your product, a casino product or gambling or betting product and so on. And you see, just sometimes when I look at my partners, just it's amazing, because it looks like choosing a hiking trail, Some of them are well-trodden and easy to navigate when I look at them, but some of them just are more rugged, and need, of course, specialized skills to find out the best of the best, to understand what's the strongest geo for you, for your product, Because not from the first days we clearly know and understand what is it, Just does it work or not, does it work? Of course, so don't forget about payable options also. They should be well organized, before starting any geographical market, And of course, we usually just try to give the advice for them and to think, first of all, of course, about two factors. It's about their budget and about the experience level, If we are speaking about budget, of course, it would be better to start with with less competitive competition, because it gives you time to analyze, to realize from the very beginning of the launching of your campaign if it works for you or not. And of course, build momentum without draining resources, you see? As we just basically work via CPC, CPM models, some non-qualified teams, unfortunately, can do it from the very beginning, especially if they haven't chosen the correct geo for them,
Okay, that's a long introduction. We won't be talking to her much anymore, but that's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I told you about it.
The River Group, I can't remember the full name.
RiverTraffic.com.
RiverTraffic.
Remember it.
Yeah. What's cool is that they do have their own sites, so you're not on MFA sites. You can minimize your bots and whatnot. And of course, tying back to what we're supposed to be talking about, highly localized, right? You target your geos, even target your cities. So definitely worth looking at. I'm going to be looking at it this afternoon, in fact. But now I'd like to introduce, from the fastest growing new entrant, relatively new entrants to the Philippines market, this is Krizia from PlayTime.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Krizia. I'm the PR director for PlayTime. As mentioned, we are the fastest growing online entertainment platform here in the Philippines. We're only under 2 years old. And right now, we are looking at approximately about 30 million user base. And one of the key component, I guess, of why we also grew as fast as we did is because of how we use the data that we gathered. We were able to look at it, analyze it, and create content, relevant and relevant and meaningful content that resonated to our target markets, including mostly locals, of different demographic, economic bracket, and also age bracket. Of course, 21 and above.
That's one of the reasons. The other reason is they've got Elvis Chan at the helm, who's a great, super smart, super aggressive. It's kind of a slave driver, but hey, you know, am I right? Am I right? No, he's actually a super intelligent guy who's taking over the landscape in this market. And launched Bingo Plus, by the way, which got it off to a great start and is still the leader. But PlayTime is coming up fast. Now I'd like to introduce Chris Johnson, a name I can say, and a fellow Manilian, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit here today with us. So I'm Chris, as Alex just said. I'm the founder of Affili.Ph. Affili.Ph, in simple words, is a one-stop shop for Pigo operators in the Philippines. We only focus on PAGCOR licensed operators, and we help them promote and spread their games and their platforms on our platforms. So essentially, we are an affiliate marketing platform for Pigos in the country, to keep it short.
There's a lot I want to talk to you about on that, but it's outside of our big data and localization. Now, localization, actually, crafting hyper-relevant experiences or hyper-personalization. This is something that we've been talking about in this industry for 20 years. I know because I started talking about it 20 years ago at an ICE conference in Istanbul, I think it was. And we're still not there. I mean, I still get Dear Joan in some of my emails, or they just give up and say, hi, player. So we've got a long way to go in personalization, I think. What are you seeing? I can't say your name right. I say Krizia.
It's fine. It's a difficult name to pronounce for most people, but yeah, Krizia. For us, how we do it, of course, the online space, it's really more data, right? We look at how the behaviors as well, preferences, and just in general, even the spend. So that's how we generate what kind of content we put out on socials for marketing, even the promotions that we do for our games, and also for even how we do our user interface. We localize it, we tailor it, and modify it depending on what we see is relevant, and also what is, I guess, the user base or the market that we are targeting.
All right, excellent. When we talk about these things, I often talk about the 6 Ps of iGaming. You can Google that, and my last name, good luck. But yeah, look for the 6 Ps of iGaming. Their product, yeah. You got to have the right product for a market. Processing, which is we're not going to get into very much in this particular talk. The right people, of course. The presentation of products, and this is exactly what Krizia is talking about. I say that right? I think Keisha now. The presentation, the performance of your website, which Kyle from Testa talked about before, and I believe the other guys touched on as well. If your site is slow, it's dead. Do you hear me out there? If your site is blah, 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 blah. If your site is slow, it's dead, okay? A slow site is a dead site. Go home now, all right? Check your page speeds, optimize your graphics, be smart about that shit. That's performance. And number 6 is what we are actually talking about, is personalization, right? Now, talking about big data, let's throw it over to Chris for a second, because he's got a lot of insight and data, because not only he's modest, not only is he doing Affili.Ph, but he's also got CasinoCompare.Ph. So he's seeing great traffic coming into there. I sound like Trump. He's seeing big, beautiful traffic coming in there, and without paying any tariffs. But then he sees where that traffic goes. So he knows a lot about this stuff, and I want to drain his mind from it. But tell me, how do you use the data that you're seeing now in terms of player performance on your sites? And how do you use that data, that big data, and change your operation accordingly?
Absolutely. So thanks for mentioning that. So Casino Compare is our flagship proprietary affiliate marketing platform. So it's casinocompare.ph, so very localized for the Philippines. And as mentioned, we only work with PACOR licensed casinos. And one of the biggest pain points for us is really to drive that organic traffic to our platforms and redirect them to our operators like PlayTime, who also happens to be one of my clients. To answer your question directly, Alex, it's like you said, a lot of different types of data coming in, from our back end, whether it be from our Casino Compare PH website or from all the other media buying activities that we do, and the influencer marketing activities that we do as well. We see a lot of what Krizia mentioned earlier, user behavior, which I think is a key term in this thesis, and it's really to analyze and ensure that number one, we are targeting the right audiences and that we're redirecting them to the games that they actually want to play, right? So in this case, for me, it's quite simplified in the sense that I'm targeting one specific market and I'm redirecting them to that same market. So I'm keeping my business my business model or my acquisition strategy model very lean in that sense. My God, I could talk for ages about this, but really just to answer your question directly, Alex, that's really how we do it. There's a lot of data coming in, as you can imagine, and I have to say that it's from brand to brand, we do see a different type of behavior, right? So from PlayTime to Casino Plus to Bet88 to, there is a different, let's say, audience for these different platforms, which is great because what we're seeing right now in the market is we're seeing mass saturation around the metro. And what we do as an affiliate marketing agency is really to try and leverage these untapped regions around the Philippines, like Mindanao and the north, and really try and test and see, is there a use case in these other areas around Metro Manila that are less saturated and that can also bring the same amount of value to our operators, which is, for us, obviously the end goal is the satisfaction of our clients and our operators. And of course, to give value to the ecosystem and do things in a very legal and regulated way, which we promote as well on our platforms. And last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to Testa because we just launched Testa Score on our Casino Compare website. This is one of a kind. There's no other affiliate marketing website in the Philippines that I know of that has a third-party, unbiased, objective review of all the PACOR operators on our website. PlayTime has their score. Casino Plus, as we saw in Kyle's speech earlier, has their score as well. And we really want to encourage all the other operators to come on board and join us on this revolution because it's all about giving the best value to our players, right, guys? You want to make sure that you are the most trusted online platform in the country, and we want to help you do that and achieve that. Thank you.
I've got a panel that talks more than me for once. It's kind of nice. All right, we talked about product optimization a little bit from Krizia. We talked about people going outside of Metro Manila and finding those C2DE markets and finding those pockets in Cebu and in Ilocos up in Papadan, get all those surfers. And we're going to skip payments because it's all Gcash and Maya, as you know, in this country. Product presentation. Let's talk about that. Well, we talked about that a little bit with Krizia. How you optimize your lobby. That's exactly what PlayTime is doing based on the popularity and the traffic that they're seeing come into their site, which is essential because if you just have, I just got into a fight on LinkedIn about this with Guy Hassan who's a slot designer, or ex-Playtika. And he said, oh no, put all your new games on the site. I said, well then you're gonna have a shitty visit to registration rate because they're not looking for the new games, they're looking for their games, they find those and then they discover the new games or you feed the new games in a new section, whatever. But that's product presentation. But let's go back to Julia from RiverTraffic. Are you doing a lot of Filipino traffic right now? Do you have sites in the Philippines?
Sure. Casino Plus, one of the top is the top for us, by the way. Yeah, coming back. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Just maybe 1 or 2 years ago, we started working just not only with the Casino Plus, but in other brands as well. And we were very amazed, yeah, by the conversions and by their huge volumes of Philippine traffics. We hadn't heard or known anything about it before it, yeah. And of course, nowadays it is one of the top geo. It is our top market, and so because of it, we are here. Because yeah, we are looking for Filipino brands, yeah, Filipino traffic flows, I don't know, offers, anything else, yeah. Just doesn't matter for us in the reality, as we are ready to test any offers or any brands for us, but only via CPC CPM, unfortunately, maybe for some brands. I know that it's a bit controversial field, yeah, for some brands, yeah, I know about it. Yeah, so because of it, we like this geo. We believe in it, yeah, we invest in it, yeah, and of course we would like to be on the top positions and slots for us forever and ever. Yeah, because yeah, it's very positive and conversion oriented for us, and we love working with it, yeah. So Filipino is #1 for us for the time being.
Yeah, congratulations. It is an increasingly competitive market, and if you don't have Gcash and Maya, go home, as I said. If you have a slow site, go home, as I said. If you don't have Jilly Games, you don't have PG Soft, good luck, guys. It's going to be tough. Because product is #1 of the 6 things you need to have. Payment processing, talked about. People, yeah, you've got to have the right people, and look for the right people in the right places. And that's what RiverTraffic can help you with. That's what Chris's sites can help you with. And that's what PlayTime is doing and making so successful on. The presentation of your product, yeah, number 4 in the 6. What are you showing when, right? What are you showing when? To whom, right? And that's where big data comes in to be a big help. And number 5 is performance. I've talked about that 100 times already. Number 6 is that personalization, which we've got a long, long way to go. A lot of people are touting it, pushing it. I've been looking at it because I'm dying to do a Temu-style site, which is semi-personalized but highly gamified. But that kind of personalization, like I like the games or I don't like the games, in top of the product is a form of personalization as well. But now let's look at the secret number 7, which is planning. And this is where big data really, really comes in, right? Because if you're planning without data, you're dead. What do you think? Let's start with Krizia on this, planning and data.
So like I've mentioned earlier, we look at the data for our promotions, for the content that we do. So for the data that we gather, we distribute that, we analyze and distribute that to our teams. And oh my, am I disclosing information that I'm not supposed to? No, just kidding.
That's okay.
No, so we work on the different data points and also how the analysis and share that amongst the teams. And that's how we plan, whether from a content perspective for marketing, what's going to come out on social media, what's going to come out on our platform, and what we're going, and even the events or the partnerships that would like to enter into. And then after that is your promotions for the games. What kind of percentage cashbacks or what kind of gimmicks we're going to push on the platform. And then, of course, what kind of rewards also we're going to provide to our top players, and also to encourage more players to try out different games that we would like to push.
How far in advance do you plan? Do you think about the next week, the next month, the next quarter, the rest of the year?
We'd like to plan 2 months or 3 months ahead. However, there's just so many moving parts. And with user behavior, the changes are very, I wouldn't say erratic, but it can sometimes be very unpredictable also.
Well, part of planning is always have a plan B, right? That's the key thing to planning, because things are going to change. Things, you get thrown off of YouTube all of a sudden, or Telegram shuts down for gaming, both of which have been happening. Or Google App Store opens up, which has just happened for Philippine providers, which is great, or so I've been told.
Sorry, just to add to your point, again, plan B, plan C, plan D, right? Contingency of the contingency is also very important because, like I said, you never know when a cyber attack is going to come or when internet or user accounts are going to get down or are going to meet some kind of error. You never really know, right? Which sometimes may be out of our control, but we try as much as we can to move fast to address those scenarios and situations. And also from a business continuity standpoint, it's also very important to have those contingency plans so that management and also the different teams are able to operate appropriately and still address concerns or the needs of our users.
Mahal kita, mahal ko.
And to add on what Krizia was saying, it's really interesting because for me, planning is synonymous with forecasting and having projections, right? So when the data comes in, I'm able to tell my client, okay, in the next 6 months, we'll be able to achieve these results for you. And that's really the value that I bring as an affiliate, in the conversation. It's, I can tell Krizia, okay, in 6 months from now, based on the data we've received for the last 2 months of testing, or 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, we're able to give more, more accurate estimates, a few months ahead of time. And I think that's really key. And again, back to user behavior and seeing how the market is evolving, seeing how the different promotions, the communication, like Krizia said, things change all the time. It's an ever-changing landscape, not just in the Philippines, but I think globally as well. It's one of those industries that's just, it's like a roller coaster, right? You just gotta keep up with the trends, you gotta keep up with the regulations, the compliance. It's a never-ending thing, which makes it fun, which is why we're here. And which is why a great guy like this guy is, hosting the panel.
I don't, mahal kita, Chris.
Mahal kita back.
That means wo I ni. When I first did my Sigma talk here was pre-COVID, I started off with ni hao, and I can't remember, what else did I say? I use my 3 Mandarin expressions, ni hao and wo I ni, and ni kuailama. But this is a very different show, and far fewer Chinese people here today, far fewer Apple phones being used in the market. That's one of the things that Kyle didn't mention in August, how in August of last year, suddenly the Apple number, which was like number 1, number 2 in terms of used platforms, suddenly took a nosedive, and now it's like platform number 8, because all those Chinese guys left with their Apple phones, apparently. Or at least that's my summation from the data. But the data is where the answers are. And the data that you can get from guys like Chris, from guys like Kyle at Testa, this is like a Testa panel, from guys like Fast Track, our sponsor, who we thank, and also have an excellent product. It's not quite right priced right for this market, but it's an excellent product, and I've been touting it since it got out there. But we've got a little bit of time left, so let's talk about, what are we going to talk about? Product, yeah? Data helps you determine what product to use. Now you have to peel back the onion on that, because it's not necessarily, I can make any game the most played game on my platform, yeah? Done, no worries. But how long do players play, or spins per player, yeah? That's the analytic that impresses me. Now, that number can be skewed because somebody, won 7 million on mental, for example, and then they go and blow it all trying to make the money back again on the same game, so it gets skewed. So you have to have a couple little filters to do your analysis. But that SPP data, and that gets into some big data, because you're looking at hopefully thousands, if not tens of thousands, or in Krizia's case, millions of players, which is a ton of big data. So I want to ask Krizia, and then we're going to tie it over to Julia. What kind of analytical tools do you use when you're digging through these reams and reams of data?
Unfortunately, not so much control. I'm joking, of course. Yeah, first of all, just we work with registrations directly, yeah? Because of it, maybe it's still the controversial field. It's already mentioned, yeah, just our CPC, CPM sphere. Yeah, because it's necessary to find out for us the strongest zones of our partner when they start the gambling campaign, for example. Yeah, and of course we try to find out the best of these strong sources and to add more and more volumes. For example, yeah, this way of our working. Yeah, just we usually do it. So of course I know that's not the most important maybe for any campaign, because deposits are most or leads, for example, are most important. But in our digital, so-called, yeah, ad format sphere, yeah, registrations are more important for us, and we do usually work only with them. Yeah, just we optimize with the help of them. We plan it only the budget with the help of them. Yeah, just concerning, of course, the volumes per clicks and impressions and so on. So controversial it or not, I can say not for us. Yeah, because just we do work for more than, I don't know, 15 or 17 years, yeah, just with our sites, and we work only with our sites, with nothing else. Yeah, and it works. Yeah, believe me, it works. We have some campaigns, gambling campaigns, for more than 3-5 years, and they're permanent. Yeah, just they go on and just launching for all year round. Yeah, just without stopping at all. So it works.
So client by client, you're looking at the data.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Krizia, you can't look at the data client by client because you've got 3 million players. How do you look at the data? Any tools you use? Any suggestions?
I think it's best to ask our data analytics team, who's also here today.
You guys want to come up?
Which is kind of me, actually.
Actually, we got like 40 seconds left.
I'm her data analytics guy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. What I was going to say was we do have our own proprietary tools. However, we do also employ or get assistance from partners like Chris, because again, there's just so much that for a company like us that's still on the rise and still growing, it can sometimes be overwhelming, and the amount of people that we have on board who are capable also to go through that data, it can sometimes be not enough. So again, supplement our own efforts with vendors like Chris.
Excellent. Well, I see that our time is up. I just wanted to say once again, thank you for Trudy for keeping us all awake, keeping it lively, keeping it going. To Kat before she runs away, thank you for bringing us up.
Thank you, Kat. You're amazing.
And to Fast Track, of course, and to Sigma in general, and IMAN in particular. And thank you guys for attending and listening in. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you didn't,
thank you.
Skip me next time.
See you
Thank you, everyone.
soon.
Have a great